my God.
Everybody can find your way to a seat, please. I will call our May 2nd, 7 p.m. meeting to order at 7:32 p.m. And roll call will reflect that I'm Alan Holman, Mayor, and I'm present. Councilman Powell. Here. Councilman Raymond. Present. Councilman Devon. Here. Sam, would you lead us in the pledge? And I've asked Jane Gunter to have our invocation after the pledge. So if you please stand, face the flag, and remain standing for the invocation after the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jay.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this awesome group of folks tonight. We thank you for our leadership. We thank you that you allow us and even tell us we should do this, and that's to pray for those in authority over us. So tonight, Lord, we thank you that wisdom will be imparted to our leaders. And we thank you that our city will be settled and happy and working toward even happier, getting answers to problems and situations. Lord, we thank you for this town. And I thank you that we're allowed to come here tonight and speak to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Jay. You may be seated. As all of you know, last week, Alderman Ruth Barr was convicted in Gwinnett County of theft by taking. She received a 5-year prison sentence and a 15-year probation sentence. And folks are asking about what the process is now. As things stand, and Steve, correct me if I go sideways on any of this, but as things stand now, a conviction of a person in office means that they are suspended from their seat. Doesn't mean they removed Ruth Barr. To my knowledge, I have not received a letter. I assume we have a resignation from her. So the process is, as it stands now, that she is suspended as an elected official. The process for her replacement is done through the governor's office. So I'm going to read what our statement is verbatim, just so everyone will have a clear understanding of where we are and what we're doing next. On April 26, 2017, a member of the Hateville City Council was convicted of a felony. This conviction resulted in the suspension of the alderman at large from the seat on council pursuant to OCGA 45-5-6.1C1, there being no general or local law or ordinance or resolution governing the appointment of a replacement officer. The governor must appoint someone to serve as a replacement officer. The governor is calling on any qualified resident of the city of Hateville interested in being considered as a temporary replacement for the position of alderman at large to submit a statement of interest and a resume no later than close of business on May 17, 2017. The statement of interest and resume should be mailed to the office of Governor Nathan Deal. Attention, Rhonda C. Barnes, 201 State Capitol, Atlanta, Georgia 30334. So with that being said, I just wanted to make the official statement so everyone is clear as to what our next, what our course of action is at this point. Councilman Dennick, I believe you wanted.
I do have a comment, and I did a little research. I spoke with the city clerk in Marietta. They had a similar situation, I think, last year. And I thought she was very forthwith and very pleased to help us out. She said what they did is they had once all of the applications were in, which would be on May 17th, they had a town hall meeting. And it was very structured and very disciplined. They allowed each person who had submitted an application 5 minutes, ding, you start, ding, you stop. You can do anything with that 5 minutes that you want. So if we only have 2 people, then that would be a total of 10 minutes. And then they opened it up for citizen comments. That could be 5 minutes. Ding, you start, ding, and no questions can be asked. And so it's merely a just statement of facts. And then after that, it would be my hope that the mayor and council would take all of the statements and all of the applications, and then we would make a recommendation to the governor of our top 5 ranked in order. We think this would be the best one. And that way, it has still some relativeness of people who were elected in the city of Hapeville having a voice in who another person would be who would be elected from the citizens, rather than just the governor saying, well, that sounds good to me. So that's my thinking, is if we could do that town hall meeting, 5 minutes is it. That's all you get. As I said, no questions, no discussion, you just get to do that. And so that worked for, I watched the video of their town hall meeting. It was very quick, concise, and no questions, no comments, and that was it. So I kind of would like to have the governor have our opinion. That's what I'm going for.
Seems fair.
I like it.
Well, I've had other people express that they don't want our opinion in it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of happy to not decide. I don't
Well, we're
think
not
that-
deciding.
Well, I don't think this process, I'm not saying don't consider this, but it was set up this way, I thought, for a reason. I don't know how Marietta interjected that they had a meeting and took recommendations, but if council wants to put that forth to the governor to wait on his decision till we give him input.
Well, I think it doesn't say he has to accept our recommendations. It just says that, that these citizens are interested, and as mayor and council is interested in finding somebody.
Keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, that's all right.
I just think it'd be really hard for us to all come into a group of 4 people, 5 people ranked. I just think that would not work well.
Okay.
Like if with us ranking, I guess we as council people could contact whoever that lady is and do it that way. But I don't know if
You don't need to contact her.
I don't know who we would contact. I don't know.
Well-
I'm just saying that I don't think it'd be very hard for us to come to a consensus on 4 people in order, ranked.
Okay.
I just think it'd be very difficult.
All right, so,
I'm down for the town hall meeting.
okay. And then what good would that do?
For what?
Yeah, what would be accomplished?
Then the citizens can go and campaign the governor for whoever they want.
Okay, allow the citizens to, submit who they heard or whatever.
So still do.
Still do this town hall meeting.
Okay,
And then y'all do what you want to do. If y'all want to go call the governor and blow up his phone, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be thrilled if there was a special election because I want the people to elect. I don't have the authority to do that, in my opinion, and so I'm kind of glad the governor's office is handling, and I hope they make a good decision. But otherwise, if it's not the vote of the people, then I don't think it should be my vote. My opinion.
well, then I would say maybe then we, if everything is received by May the 17th, I don't know what day of the week that is.
Well, one thing we could do is, during elections, neighborhood associations or groups in the city will sponsor a political forum. Maybe one of those groups could sponsor a forum, and that way,
Our hands
we're
are off.
hands off.
Okay.
If they have a uniform consensus they want to present to the governor, I'm fine with that.
I'm all fine with that.
Yeah.
But you mean as far as not have a town hall, have a neighborhood?
I don't mind having it. I mean,
Okay.
there's 2 ways. One way is for the city to have a town hall, but then we're kind of a little bit hands-on. I think what Michael's saying is, I don't want to be hands-on. So if that's the case, then maybe a group or an organization could have a meeting and invite the citizens to come, just like we do the political
And
forum.
the candidates.
And the candidates, and follow the same rigid guidelines that you were talking about. Because otherwise, it's gonna get into a he said, she said, all night long kind of thing. So if you did the 5 minutes and then everybody had the opportunity to make a statement, I think that's fair.
But I think if we did the city sponsor, we could have it here. If an individual group has to do it, then they have to figure a place to have it.
But they could have it at the rec center like they always do. Right? Shouldn't we allow it at the rec center?
Well, if it's sponsored by a
Conference.
one neighborhood association,
Yeah.
We've done
Okay.
it before. Giants Club hosted,
One interesting scenario might happen, though, that the consensus is it should be one person, the governor picks another, so what do we do then?
we don't
Not
do
my
anything, we don't
candidate?
know. Well, if we're not looking at and if we're not offering any ranking, we don't know. It's all his office, so we don't know what it is.
well, this is new territory for me, because I've been serving for 19 years, and this is news to me now. I have not spoken to Ruth. I don't know if she has the intention of resigning. I've previously, on some occasions, suggested, and I think we have a body of suggested she resign, and she chose not to. I can't speak to what her mindset is right now, because I honestly do not know, because I have not had any conversation with her verbally or in writing since the indictment, since the conviction.
I think it's important that we move on, with post haste.
We do need to do
And so do we ask if there's anybody here representing an organization? I see a hand there from Ms. Lamb.
The Exchange Club, I can speak for them, I believe. Do we have a consensus here? We always do it?
I don't think after the last one we had, they could do it again.
No.
Because there was some pretty heated stuff.
Well, if we're ever going
Yeah.
to
Okay,
get
folks,
rid of
hold
the
on.
ugliness,
This is not good.
Okay.
Well, we're having secondary meetings, so
Oh, okay.
have them come up and speak.
All right, so is there another person representing an organization who would like to come up and speak?
Just for simplicity's sake, if you just come to the podium and speak. Just so we can keep it.
I'm Katrina Bradbury, and I'm president of the Virginia Park Neighborhood Association. And in addition to the one that Exchange Club has hosted in the past, the neighborhood associations as a joint group, we usually have a meeting with one person from each neighborhood, not necessarily the president, but whoever wanted to. And we've kind of hosted it. The last one we hosted was over at the church.
Village Church.
Church, it's escaping at the moment. So, I wasn't gonna say anything in case the Exchange Club wanted to, but I'd be happy to reach out to the other neighborhood presidents. Usually Terry Cochran kind of takes the lead, from Azalea Park, but, he's not here tonight, but I can reach out to that group if that is.
And Marcia, we can reach out to the Exchange Club and see what they're.
Whichever way we want to do it, but it's an option, however we want to do it. I mean, we obviously
Or
only need
we
one.
could,
We have
or we
15.
could do it together.
We can do that.
We could do it
Yeah,
together.
just need one, because I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that
two would be.
structured
No, I'm not
format,
offering, I'm
yeah.
not suggesting to, I wasn't gonna say anything, except that I wasn't sure that the Exchange Club was going that direction, so it's just an option.
Yeah. So we gotta move quickly.
Yes, because I was going to say the 17th is a Wednesday, and so that's when the governor will have everything, is by Wednesday the 17th. So maybe by the 19th, that's a Friday.
So we would look at to do something after the 17th.
Did you
Right,
want to
because we
have
have to have all of
After
it.
the 17th.
And very quickly after, the governor has said, the applications are now closed, this is what we have.
Will they tell us everybody that's applied?
Well, yes, I don't know why they would keep it a
I
secret.
don't know. I don't know.
Marietta didn't have any problem getting
But
that.
we are not, to my knowledge, we're not copied on any of this. This goes to the governor's office for action. I don't know what the protocol is,
Or do
so.
we just ask for people that,
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking you were actually gonna do it before the deadline. I think people know whether they're gonna do it or not, and if they are gonna submit and they wanna be a part of this, which it sounds like they would, then do it before that. If you're gonna pay for you to do all this after he's made the decision.
Okay,
No, I don't think that was her intent.
Right.
Well, I'm hearing after the
Well,
deadline.
that would
I would
be-
do it
that's
before the
Deadline
deadline.
to turn it
turning
in.
the
I'd do
application.
it before the deadline.
So,
Steve,
just
was
let
there-
me know.
Okay, thank you, Katrina.
Steve, was there any indication from the governor's office as to how long it would take him to make a decision?
She said that it wouldn't take long for the governor to make his decision.
Okay.
She
That's all I got.
expected the process to happen quickly.
Okay.
So before would be better.
I
I would have thought so, and the people that are gonna apply, they'll know and they'll wanna be a part of that.
17th is on a Wednesday. I would suspect that he would have an announcement that following Monday. That would be a while, probably a while.
I just wanted to say, I called the governor's office today and was inquiring about information as I read it off of the website. And they told me, any citizen in the city of Hapeville, if you have any questions, any issues, or any kind of comments that you would like to provide to the governor's office, to send it to that address, to Rhonda, what's her name?
Rhonda Barnes.
On Washington Street, and address your concerns, or if you have information that you would like to provide to the governor's office. Now, I don't know who they have that's collecting that, but
Obviously, Rhonda Barnes.
that's information that would be helpful for people. So that's all.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay. Any other comments? Well, I know this is something on everybody's mind, so I'll give everybody the opportunity now. All right. All right, the,
1 second, Mayor. Can I make an amendment to the agenda?
sure.
Can I make an amendment to the agenda to add an RFP for a city attorney?
Okay. You're making a motion to amend the agenda, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Do you want to?
We'll talk about it.
New business?
Yeah, I guess it'd be new business.
This meeting that we just talked about will occur before the next council meeting, correct?
It looks that way, yes.
So I don't know if we need to shape this anymore or let
I think
possibly
it's like-
Virginia Park shape it up, but are they gonna use the rec center? I heard a lot of different things.
I don't think it's been determined yet. Date or place.
I think the best thing to do would be to blast that out via social media and their
And website,
email distribution list and our website, so.
Do we want to put it on our website? Do we want to get involved? I don't know if we want to get involved.
Is this an announcement of a neighborhood meeting?
I don't know, what would you advise as attorney?
Yes, Steve.
Do we do other neighborhood meetings?
Yeah, every month in our, well, in the newsletter.
Yes.
Okay.
If they will let us know, we'll be glad to put it on the website.
Okay.
Okay. All I can tell you.
All right. Okay, so, next item is Jennifer, do you have a copy of this proclamation? I'm ready to read it. I didn't print it out, and I'd rather look at it instead of read it. I have a proclamation that celebrates our men and women in police service and encourages the city to join with many communities around the nation recognizing National Police Week. Staff recommends adoption of this proclamation by Mayor and Council. To recognize National Police Week 2017 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the City of Hapeville Police Department. Whereas there have been 15,548 assaults against law enforcement officers in 2015, resulting in approximately 14,453 injuries. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the wall of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas 394 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 143 officers killed in 2016 and 251 officers killed in previous years. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 29th annual candlelight vigil on the evening of May 13, 2017. And whereas the candlelight vigil is part of the National Police Week, which takes place this year on May 14th through the 20th. Note, because May the 14th falls on a Sunday, some events will take place before the official dates of Police Week 2017. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Therefore be resolved that the mayor and council formally designate May 14th through 20th, 2017 as Police Week in the city of Hapeville, Georgia, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. So proclaim this second day of May 2017. So council, if you don't have any issue with this, we now will proceed with this proclamation. I'll sign it, Jennifer. Is this the one I need to sign?
How about this, we publicly salute them?
Yes.
Just listening to that, 15,500 people, officers assaulted last year. Wow.
10 years from now, you won't find anybody that will want to do that job. Tough job. All right, next item we have up is City of Hapeville LCI plan. This is our presentation of the Atlanta Regional Commission's ARC, the Liverpool Center Initiatives and Comprehensive Plan Study that was combined. The city received a grant in 2016 from the Atlanta Regional Commission for a livable communities initiative, LCI, and comprehensive plan study combined. Staff and our contracted consultant, the Sizemore Group, have been working since November and December of last year on this effort. We have now reached the point in the process where adoption of the plans by council will be needed to complete the process. Sizemore Group has prepared a PowerPoint presentation to outline and provide a detailed overview that highlights the main contents and issues addressed in the plan. The actual plan document will be sent to the council on or about May 5th for your review. The document will also be placed on the project website for the public to see as well. The project schedule, unless altered by council, calls for a formal plan of adoption on the May 16, 2017 council meeting. So that being said, I will turn it over to our folks from Sizemore Group. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you, Mayor and Council, so much for having us tonight. This has been a really wonderful process. We really enjoyed working with you all, working with the wonderful citizens here in Hapeville, and of course, city staff. It's really been a delightful project, and we're excited about what's to come. So I'm going to try to keep the presentation brief. It's a lot of slides, so I may go through some of them quickly, but I think most people here have actually seen this presentation in some format. So the team that worked on this was, of course, our Sizemore Group. We had two wonderful consultants, Nelson Nygaard and Noel Consulting, who were our transportation and market analyst experts.
I'll love them all. Excuse me. There we go.
The project scope, as you're well aware, was the entire city boundary, looking at land use and transportation, looking at a visionary process, so looking into the future of what can come for Hapeville. We also were tasked with looking at this through the DCA's, or the Department of Community Affairs, comprehensive plan update, so we were able to take care of two plan updates under one contract. So you're aware of the process. Many of you have been involved since the beginning. About 8 months ago, we started this process. We've had 5 core key, kind of our key stakeholder team meetings, 5 what we're calling creative public meetings, where we actually had one that was a walk through the down Main Street, having folks stop in different stores to talk about different concerns and issues. We had about 20 stakeholder interviews, 7 project management meetings, a 2-day design workshop. We had a community survey both in English and Spanish, a website that also had Spanish language. Many flyers and promotional material leading up to events, and we were also fortunate to be able to put some Spanish in that. So we really were trying to reach out to everyone in the community to be engaged. And then I just wanted to point out at the end of this slide, we really are thankful for the city staff who put in countless hours to really make this process happen.
So we are running towards the end of this process here, where we're at the point where we are asking mayor and council to adopt this LCI update and comprehensive plan. Ultimately, once you do adopt this plan, it opens you up for more transportation implementation funding through the Atlanta Regional Commission. So it's a great advantage. We do hope that you do consider this into your adoption. Our project goals, we're really looking at the focus point where the grant, which was the LCI from the Atlanta Regional Commission, their grant goals, the market goals, and where the community engagement goals. Where these three items come together is really where we try to find our point and our process for moving forward. The grant goals through the Atlanta Regional Commission are really looking at making live, work, play environments, balancing work and jobs, which you all have great access to that here, but also getting people out of the single occupancy vehicle. So we're looking at alternative transportation methods through this process. The market goals, I won't go through all of this, but just to let you know, we did do an intensive market analysis, looking at predictive understandings of what developments are coming into the area and how we can build from that. And then from the community, as I mentioned before, we had 5 community meetings, the community survey, and stakeholder interviews. And the key points that came out of that were really looking at transportation in terms of walkability, bikeability, and transit. Land uses, there was a lot of interest in a grocery store in the area and promoting local businesses. Housing, affordable housing, a diversity of housing mixes in the area. Green space, and encouraging the office that is already coming in, especially in the corporate crescent portion of the community. And in terms of character, Hapeville has a wonderful small town charm to it, and the preservation of that was very important to the community, as well as enhancing the arts. There's already creative energy with the theater and with a lot of the other initiatives going on in Hapeville, and we wanted to enhance that. Working with the schools to improve schools to keep residents here long term. And then build from the airport, Delta, and Porsche. Some great investment has already happened in this area, and let's build from that. So to get into the draft plan, we took all that information, market and public engagement, to start to identify and analyze where we should focus. And this map here shows the 3 different nodes that we think are the key nodes for improvement in Hapeville. The right node is really focused around the gateway into the community as well as Porsche. The center node is downtown Hapeville, and then the nodes to the left is near Delta and the gateway off Virginia Avenue. And these circles show you a 5-minute and a 10-minute walking distance. So you can see we do, in order to keep people within a walkable node, we're looking at mixed uses at those 3 nodes. Here highlights several areas that we know are ripe for redevelopment, next to the Porsche area and over just north of Delta. And then of course the corporate crescent concept with Aerotropolis. Residential preservation was something we wanted to address, and making sure that we're preserving as well as enhancing the communities that are existing, and making sure that we're not tapping into those communities in any major redevelopment way. So from that, we really focused on these 5 different nodes. The orange nodes are our gateway nodes on the east and west side. We have downtown in the center, Virginia Avenue node as a gateway entrance to the west, and then the airport loop road gateway entrance. And ultimately what we're recommending is that these nodes be converted into a design district overlay so we can oversee development as it comes in. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and talk about some of the transportation recommendations. This map here shows the airport shuttle that runs from the international terminal to the domestic terminal. One of the main recommendations and what came out of some of our stakeholder meetings is how do we get people from downtown Hapeville into downtown Hapeville from the hotels. And so here we've highlighted a route in the darker blue that would take you from the area hotels to downtown Hapeville on a private shuttle service. Additionally, the opportunity for transit for Clayton service to come through Hapeville and the opportunity to provide a station here in Hapeville. And what that would look like in terms of MARTA rail is more a commuter rail. So it's not a heavy rail like you see running into downtown, and it's not light rail where it's a streetcar. The option is for a commuter rail, which just uses the existing rail tracks. And so it looks more like a train. You can still cross the tracks, and it has a much less impact on the community. And you can see a couple other community examples. Here's Orlando, where they just built a little train station and they just needed a platform for folks to get onto the train. So focusing on some areas where we have opportunity to develop a train stop, we looked at downtown. You see the white node there as one opportunity to bring people into downtown Hapeville to really work with the community and the businesses that are there. A second opportunity is just a little bit to the west, where the shuttle would run down Virginia Avenue. This is actually a location that would get commuters closer to Delta, which is your largest employer in town. And then the addition of making this a really cohesive transit system is to start looking at the connection between that international shuttle to the local shuttle and up to MARTA to really create a system that is usable and efficient. The second large transportation move that we were looking at is relocating the state route off of Dogwood Drive over to I-75. And so we've had several conversations with GDOT, who is open to this concept, and we've put together a plan for you all to pursue with GDOT and the City of Atlanta if this is of interest. We have heard from the community that this was a move that would allow you to have more design control over these roadways, as well as the ability to close roadways for a festival, allow for different opportunities for the community. We did look at sidewalk conditions, and here in the green, the darkest green is in really good condition, light green is in fair condition, and the red is in poor condition. And where there are not conditions seen, there's a lack of sidewalks.
I guess that was going to be my question, if you don't mind me interjecting here. I think we've had a couple of LCI grants that have come and gone, and it did, I think even before my time, but it troubled me that we ripped up perfectly good sidewalks just so we could put sidewalks in that had pavers, yet we still have a great portion of our city that has no sidewalks. So that's still going to be important to me, is to get sidewalks where there are none.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a recommendation within the report to continue infill as we go through. When we talk about where we think the greatest improvements are needed currently, they're really at the gateway areas, at North and South Central Avenue. Not only would these connect you and give you a more beautiful streetscape and entrance into the community, but it would help connect your employee base into downtown. So we're looking at a focus on North and South Central Avenue. Virginia Avenue is highlighted here. That's a